she was probably one of the first women's basketball players I really grew up idolizing and really like knowing.
At only 22, Caitlin Clark has taken women's basketball by storm, stamping her name on this version of the game. Turning from a college standout into a sensation in the WNBA, this is a story of talent, determination, and grit. Known for unreal deep threes and leading the league in fast break points, Caitlin broke many records during her college career to be named the all-time leading scorer for both men's and women's basketball. That alone speaks much to the realm of her ability on the court, but it is just part of what makes her story so incredible.
First in the league in fast break points.
Clark connects on a deep three.
Early beginnings, Caitlin Clark started playing basketball in her hometown and eventually turned out to be a prodigy in the game at a very tender age. She was an outstanding scorer with excellent vision for the game and a competitive spirit that rose above all of her peers from very tender ages. Her high school career was one of many distinctions and record-breaking, which effortlessly catapulted her into the University of Iowa's women's basketball team.
When she was 5, Caitlin did something so incredible that it made her grandpa believe she was truly special. Born in Des Moines, Iowa, she grew up playing sports with her 2 brothers and her cousins, so that should give you a hint about what type of family she comes from.
Iowa is where Caitlin did not just play basketball, she dominated it. What constituted her freshman year was a juggernaut of greatness. She led the nation in scoring and assists, both words that are still rare for freshmen. She became an instant face of college basketball, drawing media attention and being equated with some of the greatest players in the history of the game. She had broken a few records before her college career ended, including the all-time scoring leader in NCAA basketball for men and women. Her uncanny ability to score, coupled with her court vision and leadership ability, quickly made her a household name in basketball circles. Upon her entry into the WNBA, Caitlin was, of course, expected with much more hype. Drafted as the consensus #1 pick, she joined the Indiana Fever, a team that traditionally did not fare very well. From the outset, Caitlin made a deep impact.
Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
She brought an element of excitement and skill to the league that it rarely had seen. But maybe her deep three-pointers, usually beyond the arc, got to be her staple. She earned nicknames such as Logo Clark with these deep threes. Her fast break points and assists were just indicative that she was a multitasking player who was able to dominate the game in any way. Though so successful, Caitlin's journey hasn't been easy at all. In a game where women's basketball often fails to attract much attention compared to the men's game, Caitlin bore additional pressure as she carried too many people's hopes and expectations. Yet, she rose to the occasion. Stadiums are now filled, and from all over the country, people travel hours just to witness the miracle play.
Ellie Gazzardo, the head coach. Her team rallied twice in the Southland Conference Tournament for wins, and that one dead on. Right on the money.
Of the greater challenges Caitlin faced were some reactionaries from players already established in the WNBA, most notably Diana Taurasi. Many would call her the GOAT of women's basketball, and she made some controversial comments about Caitlin, saying she would choose another player, Paige Buchers, over Clark. This public slight was surprising to many, especially given that Taurasi had been one of Caitlin's idols growing up. Diana Taurasi's comments. Taurasi seemed rather dismissive and critical in an interview when she spoke about Caitlin. Asked if she would draft Caitlin with the #1 pick, Taurasi went, "I'm taking Paige next. Next question."
Hey, I'm taking Paige. Next question.
That quote sparked a lot of controversy and debate from fans and pundits alike. It almost seemed as if Taurasi was going out of her way to divert the focus from Caitlin to her because she might have felt a little threatened by the younger player's meteoric rise to fame. Caitlin, however, did not give up. Though her goddess could not back her up, she just continued playing her game and kept proving herself on the court. Her performances spoke for themselves, and Caitlin let her skills do the talking. That historic game. June 30th, 2024. The hottest day of anticipation, as fans were looking toward the showdown between Caitlin Clark and Diana Taurasi. The Footprint Center in Phoenix was jammed with 177,000 fans who came out to witness what would be witnessed in this historic game. Inclement weather did not deter the crowd, with scorching heat of 110-degree Arb. Everyone was in high spirits to watch the two stars tussle it out with each other. In the 20-year career of Diana Taurasi, this was arguably the biggest game she had ever been a part of in the history of the WNBA. She didn't waste any time realizing just how big this game was, starting out strong and scoring easily while piling up assists. As the game went on, though, the mounting pressure felt, and she felt in full the force of the Caitlin Clark hype. Caitlin just played a spectacular game. Not only did she make some big shots, but she also flexed her defensive muscle to bring her team back into the ball game. Her deep threes, assists, and defensive plays were incomprehensible to all viewers. With Taurasi trying to answer the bell, the relentless performance by Caitlin kept on turning the tide. As the game continued to wear on, Caitlin Clark's leadership and skill became only more obvious. She had to lead her team to a historic victory, putting 177,000 fans in the center of her team's triumph and placing Diana along with the Phoenix Mercury in a humbling defeat. It was Caitlin's moment of validation against a bit of the skepticism and criticism hurled her way. After the game, even Diana Taurasi, who had once belittled Clark's abilities, finally acknowledged her great talent. In a post-game interview, Taurasi said, "What Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far is just nothing short of remarkable." This acknowledgement showed some begrudging respect from one of the game's legends onto its newest star. For Caitlin, the game was vindication that all her hard work and sacrifice were not for nothing. It was a moment through which she validated that she did belong to this highest level of the sport and the potential to fight with the best around, with an added advantage of outclassing them. Economic impact of Caitlin Clark's impact goes beyond the basketball court. Her presence in the WNBA has made a huge economic difference within the league, helping attract more significant crowds and more money revenue. The game on June 30th illustrated this very clearly since the price for front-row tickets surged as high as $2,000. In perspective, the Minnesota Lynx, the most popular team in the WNBA, sells tickets courtside for about $257. That Caitlin can command an audience this big and charge a premium price for tickets is a testament to her star power and ability to electrify the game. Her influence has also been felt in merchandise sales as Caitlin Clark jerseys and other items fly off the store racks. This exposure helps to increase the popularity of women's basketball to a new group of fans and ensures more media coverage. All this attention creates a trickle-down effect to benefit not only Caitlin, but the league as a whole. Aside from on-court success, Caitlin Clark is making a difference off the court. She engages in community outreach and does some charity work using her platform to give back and inspire the next generation of women. Caitlin regularly goes out to the youth basketball clinics to teach the next generation of players the skills and values that have made her so successful in the game. She is also an advocate for gender equality in sports. One of the toughest challenges in her career has been the physical demands of the game. The threat of injury is constantly looming, and the best shape of physical fitness requires tireless effort. Caitlin possesses it all, though: the rigorous workout schedule, the disciplined lifestyle, and, most importantly, the recovery practice. As disciplined in nature with a professional approach, it is the result of this combination that she has maintained herself in a healthy condition to play at higher scales. It has been labeled the Caitlin Clark effect. She has been able to get more bodies in the seats of the gym, sell more merchandise, and really create a great deal of media attention toward women's basketball. Caitlin knows exactly how to thrill audiences and bring attention to the sport. She influences her teammates and opponents alike. Playing with or against Caitlin seems to draw out the best in most players as it pushes them to rise above their game. Whenever she steps onto the court, it brings up the level of competition, thus making each game she participates in more electrifying and action-packed personal life. And inspirations of Caitlin's professional achievements are well documented. According to her, her personal life and what inspires her are the major constituents that shape her persona.
Gets it into Clark. Clark races away, and the mythical...
Parents, to a great extent, influenced Caitlin during her childhood. They motivated her interest in playing basketball from her early years. Her parents, themselves athletes, instilled in her the values of hard work, perseverance, and humility. She also draws inspiration from other athletes, either within or outside basketball. She is a big fan of the work ethic inducted into the game by players like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, something that arguably translated into her ethos regarding basketball. Off the court, Caitlin enjoys family and friend time, reading, traveling, and giving back to the community through various charity works. Reflections of success. Caitlin reflects on what success means to her. She says that, inasmuch as it is good to break records and win games, the real litmus test for success is setting a good precedence to others. To her, instilling young girls to achieve their dreams, Furthering gender parity and making a difference in society are the highest markers of success. She is modest, with a view of things that makes her popular among fans, peers, and coaches. Being able to keep her head down while in the center of the spotlight and under immense pressure shows something important about Caitlin. She is an even better person than a player. Caitlin Clark's story is one of immense talent, unwavering determination, and profound impact.
I mean, that just creates so many issues for Iowa.
Tough shot there. Got it to go past Cunningham.
I don't care if you're the first, second, or third line of defense. That's a problem for you. She applies so much pressure with what she does with the ball.
Clark with a triple. Yes.
At only 22, she has indelibly marked the face of women's basketball. From that little girl chasing her dream, smashing college records, to now being that difference maker in the WNBA, her journey shall forever stay a guiding light to all of you out there willing to pay the price in sweat, passion, and perseverance. More than the court, Caitlin comes as a role model for the younger generations of athletes by bringing unprecedented attention to women's basketball. She did the greatest deal of economic impacts off court, contributed to the communities, and it was more of a personal reflection on her legacy to be considered one of the most important players in the history of the sport. With Caitlin Clark dominating women's basketball, its future has never looked brighter. We're only at the tail end of watching her storied career unfold, and we can't wait for what this talented kid comes up with next. Breaking more records, winning championships, inspiring the stars of tomorrow. These are the hallmarks of Caitlin Clark, the player who is making a lasting difference in the game